I'm 81 years old. In 6 months, maybe less, I'll be dead. Pancreatic cancer, stage 4, spread to my liver. The doctor who told me has been practicing for 30 years. He looked at my scans and said, "Mr. Patterson, I'm sorry." I'm not. I'm sorry for something else entirely. Something I did at 23 years old on a Tuesday morning in April 1967. One decision, 5 minutes, destroyed everything. You're going to hear this and think I'm exaggerating. You'll think, how could one choice ruin an entire life? I've had 58 years to think about that question. I've replayed that morning 10,000 times. Different choice, different life, better life. Here's what nobody tells you about regret. It doesn't fade. At 30, I thought time would heal it. At 50, I thought I'd made peace with it. At 81, dying, it's the only thing I think about. I'm about to tell you what I decided that morning. Not because I want sympathy, because you're making the same choice right now, today, and you don't even know it. Stop before you do what I did. April 1967, I was 23 years old, living in a studio apartment in Philadelphia, corner of 8th and Market. Rent was $85 a month. I worked at First National Bank as a junior loan officer, $112 a week before taxes. Wore the same gray suit Monday through Friday because I only owned 2 suits. Tuesday mornings, I'd stop at Morelli's Diner on my walk to work. Black coffee, 15 cents. Scrambled eggs and toast, 40 cents. I'd sit at the counter reading the Philadelphia Inquirer, usually the sports section. The Phillies were terrible that year. Didn't matter. I read it anyway. My life was ordinary. Completely, unremarkably ordinary. I'm telling you this because that's the lie we believe, that the moments that destroy us will feel important when they're happening, that we'll know, that there'll be warning signs, dramatic music, a sense that this decision matters. There wasn't. That Tuesday started like every other Tuesday. Alarm at 6:15 a.m., shower, shave, coffee, from the percolator that took 8 minutes to brew. Out the door by 7:05. The weather was decent, maybe 58 degrees, cloudy, but no rain. I remember because I didn't bring my umbrella. You think I'm stalling? You want me to get to the decision? I will. But first you need to understand what I was walking away from, because I didn't know. And you don't know what you're walking away from either. Her name was Catherine Miller. I met her 6 months earlier, October 1966, at a church social I didn't want to attend. My mother made me go. "You work too much," she said. "You need to meet people." I went to shut her up. Stood by the punch bowl eating cookies shaped like leaves. Catherine walked up and said, "Those are terrible, aren't they?" I looked at the cookie in my hand. "Yeah, I made them," she said. I wanted to die. Started apologizing. She laughed, actually laughed. Not that polite sound people make. "I'm kidding. My aunt made them. They're awful." We talked for 2 hours. She was 22, worked at a dental office on Chestnut Street as a receptionist. She'd grown up in Delaware County, had 2 younger brothers, loved books, but hated poetry. "It's just people saying normal things in a confusing way," she said. I called her 3 days later. We went to dinner at a place called Giovanni's, Italian food, red checkered tablecloths. I was so nervous I knocked over my water glass. She pretended not to notice, kept talking about a book she was reading while the waiter cleaned it up. By December, we were seeing each other twice a week. By February, 4 times a week. By April, every day. every single day. You know what we did? Nothing extraordinary. That's what kills me now. We weren't climbing mountains or sailing oceans. We went to the movies on Friday nights, 75 cents each. We walked through Rittenhouse Square on Sunday afternoons. We ate dinner at her parents' house on Wednesdays. Her mother made pot roast and asked about my job. Tuesday nights, Catherine would come over to my apartment after work. She'd bring groceries, chicken, vegetables, bread, and we'd cook together in my tiny kitchen that barely fit 2 people. She'd tell me about her day, the patients who came in, the dentist she worked for, who hummed while he worked. I'd tell her about loans I was processing, people buying houses, starting businesses. She made it sound interesting, even though it wasn't. Then we'd sit on my couch, this ugly brown thing I'd bought used for $30, and read. She'd read her book. I'd read the newspaper or a manual from work. Sometimes we wouldn't talk for an hour. Just sat there, existing in the same space. That was it. That was what I had. On April 18th, 1967, that Tuesday morning, I woke up thinking about something my boss had said the day before. Mr. Hendricks, he was 52, ran the loan department, wore expensive suits that actually fit. He'd called me into his office Monday afternoon. "Patterson," he said, "you're good at this. Better than most junior officers I've hired." I sat up straighter. He'd never complimented me before. "There's an opportunity opening up. Regional manager position, our Pittsburgh branch. Guy's retiring in June. They're looking for someone young, sharp, willing to relocate. Pittsburgh, 300 miles away. It's a significant raise," he continued, $185 a week. Management track. You'd be the youngest regional manager in the company's history. I felt my heart speed up. $185 a week. That was $73 more than I was making. That was real money. "I'm recommending you," he said. "If you're interested, I need to know by end of week. They want to interview candidates next Monday." I walked out of his office dizzy. This was what I'd been working toward. Advancement, recognition, a career, not just a job. I didn't tell Catherine that night. I don't know why. Maybe I wanted to figure out my own thoughts first. Maybe I was scared of what she'd say. We made spaghetti, sat on the couch. She read while I pretended to read. That night, lying in bed after she'd gone home, I did the math. $185 a week was $9,620 a year. I could afford a real apartment, a car. I could save money, build something. Pittsburgh wasn't that far. 3 hours by train. We could make it work. People did long distance all the time. But I knew. Even then, I knew that's not how it would go. Tuesday morning, April 18th, I woke up at 6:15 like always. Made coffee, got dressed. The whole time my mind was spinning. The interview was Monday. Today was Tuesday. I had until Friday to decide. I walked to Morelli's, ordered my usual. The waitress rose. She'd worked there for years. "You look distracted, honey," she said. "Just thinking about work? Don't think too hard, gives you wrinkles." I sat at the counter with my eggs getting cold, staring at the newspaper without reading it. The decision felt enormous. Stay in Philadelphia making $112 a week, or move to Pittsburgh making $185. Stay with certainty or chase opportunity. But that wasn't really the decision, was it? The real decision was Catherine or career. I'm 81 years old now, dying, and I can still see that plate of eggs, still smell the coffee, Still hear the radio playing in the background, some song I didn't know. I paid my 55 cents, left a dime tip, walked out onto Market Street. It was 7:42 a.m. I know because I checked my watch. Catherine worked 3 blocks from my bank. Every morning she'd wait for me outside her building at 7:50. We'd walk together to the corner where we split. Her to the dental office, me to the bank. 2 minutes of walking, that's all. 2 minutes every morning. That Tuesday morning I had a choice. Walk the normal route, see Catherine, tell her about Pittsburgh, have that conversation, face it, or take the long way around, avoid her building entirely, give myself more time to think, deal with it later. I stood on that corner for maybe 30 seconds. Then I turned left instead of right. I took the long way. Told myself I just needed another day to figure out what to say. That it wasn't avoiding, it was planning. That I'd tell her tomorrow when I had the words right. 5 minutes. That's how much longer the alternate route took. 5 extra minutes of walking, and I dodged seeing her. You're thinking, that's it? That's the decision that destroyed your life? Taking a different route to work? No. That was the first decision. The one that made the next one easier. Wednesday morning, I took the long way again. Thursday morning, same thing. By Friday, Catherine left me a note at my apartment. Found it slipped under my door when I got home from work. Her handwriting, blue pen on lined paper torn from a notebook. Did I do something wrong? You haven't met me all week. Call me tonight. See, I called. Told her I'd been leaving early for work. Special project, busy week. She said okay, said she understood. We made plans for Saturday. Saturday I told her about Pittsburgh. We were at her apartment, smaller than mine. She shared it with a roommate who worked weekends. We sat at her kitchen table, yellow Formica top with metal edges. She'd made iced tea. It's a big opportunity, I said, regional manager. I'd be supervising 12 people. She nodded, didn't say anything. It's almost double what I'm making now, I continued. That's good, she said. Her voice was flat. Pittsburgh's not that far. 3 hours by train. I could come back weekends. Could you? Yeah, of course. She looked at me, really looked at me. Would you? I told her yes. Promised her yes. Meant it when I said it. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. When do you start? July 1st, if I take it. If? I haven't decided for sure. Another lie. I'd already told Hendricks yes on Friday afternoon. Had already scheduled the interview. Monday morning, 9 a.m. Pittsburgh. I'd be on the 6:15 train. I don't know why I lied to her. Maybe I wanted her to think she still had influence over the decision. Maybe I wanted to feel like I was being considerate. Maybe I just didn't want the fight I knew was coming. We spent that Saturday together. Walked through the city, had dinner at a Chinese place on Ray Street, went back to her apartment. She was quiet. I kept talking, filling the silence, trying to convince both of us that this would work. That night before I left, she said, I love you. First time either of us had said it. I love you too, I said. I did. I really did. Didn't matter. Monday, I took the train to Pittsburgh. The interview lasted 40 minutes. They offered me the job before I left the building. I accepted. I moved July 8, 1967. A Saturday. Hot as hell. Humidity that made your shirt stick to your back. Catherine helped me pack. We didn't talk much. She folded my clothes. I packed my books. Her roommate made sandwiches we didn't eat. When everything was loaded in the U-Haul, I'd rented it for $29. Catherine walked me down to the truck. We stood on the sidewalk. People walked past us, living their regular Saturday. "Call me when you get there," she said. "I will. And we'll figure out visits." "Yeah, maybe you can come in 2 weeks." "Okay." We kissed. She went back inside. I drove to Pittsburgh. You know what I thought during that drive? I thought I was making the smart choice, the mature choice. Catherine would understand eventually. We'd make it work because we loved each other, and love was enough. Here's what nobody tells you when you're 23. Love isn't enough. Proximity matters. Presence matters. Being there for the Tuesday nights making dinner matters more than any promise you make on a Saturday. I called her when I got to Pittsburgh. Talked for 20 minutes. She sounded cheerful. Too cheerful. The way people sound when they're trying really hard. I called her Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, every night that first week. Week 2, she came to visit. Took the train Friday after work, stayed until Sunday evening. My apartment was worse than the one in Philadelphia. Smaller, louder. The building smelled like cabbage. We pretended not to notice. We walked around Pittsburgh like tourists. Went to a diner. Had sex that felt different, like we were trying to prove something. Sunday evening, I drove her to the train station. 2 weeks? She said. Yeah, or I'll come to Philadelphia. I didn't go to Philadelphia for 5 weeks. Work was busy. That's what I told her. Training, meetings, learning the systems. All true, also irrelevant. I could have gone. Could have taken the Friday train, come back Sunday. Chose not to. The phone calls got shorter. 10 minutes instead of 20, then 5 minutes. Then every other day instead of every day. October 1967, she came to Pittsburgh again. Second visit. 3 months since I'd moved. We went to dinner at an Italian place, nothing like Giovanni's. We ordered wine. She told me about her job. I told her about mine. We sounded like strangers making conversation. "This isn't working," she said. We were walking back to my apartment. Dark outside, cold. She had her arms crossed against the wind. "We just need more time," I said, "to adjust. It's been 3 months. That's not that long." She stopped walking. "When's the last time you came to Philadelphia?" I didn't answer. "You've been there once since July." "Once?" "For a Saturday afternoon because your mother had a birthday." Don't say work's been busy. You're choosing work. That's fine. I'm not mad. But don't pretend you're not choosing." I got defensive. Told her she didn't understand career opportunities, that I was building something, that this job could lead to vice president, senior management, real money. "For what?" she asked. "What do you mean for what? What are you building it for? Who are you building it for?" I didn't have an answer. She went back to Philadelphia Sunday morning. Early train, 6 a.m. I didn't try to stop her. Told myself she was being unreasonable, that she wasn't thinking long term, that I was doing this for us. We talked twice after that. Once in November, once in December. Both times I called her. Both times the conversations lasted less than 3 minutes. January 1968, I got a letter. Actual letter. Envelope and stamp, her handwriting. She was seeing someone else. A teacher at a high school near where she worked. They'd met at a bookstore. She wanted me to know before I heard from someone else. She hoped I was doing well. She hoped the job was everything I wanted. I read that letter sitting at my kitchen table in Pittsburgh. My apartment was still barely furnished. Card table, folding chair, mattress on the floor. I'd been too busy with work to buy real furniture. I didn't cry. Didn't call her, didn't do anything dramatic. I told myself it was for the best, that long distance never works, that we'd both moved on, that I'd meet someone else eventually. I threw myself into work harder. 70-hour weeks, 80-hour weeks, came in Saturdays, took work home Sundays. By June 1968, I was top performer in my region. By 1970, I was assistant vice president. By 1975, vice president. By 1982, senior vice president. I made a lot of money. I bought a house in 1973. 3 bedrooms, nice neighborhood. Lived there alone for 9 years before I got married. Her name was Susan. We met at a banking conference. Got married in 1982. She was nice, smart. We had similar career goals. We got divorced in 1989. No kids. She said I was married to my job. She was right. I dated after that. Few women here and there. Nothing serious. Nothing that lasted more than a year. I retired in 2003. Senior executive vice president. Pension that paid $8,200 a month. Savings of $1.4 million. Beautiful condo in downtown Pittsburgh. Ate dinner alone most nights. Read the newspaper. Watched TV. Slept. Woke up. Repeated. You're wondering what happened to Catherine? I looked her up in 1995. Internet was new, but you could find things. She'd married the teacher, guy named Robert Chin. They had 3 kids. She was working part-time at a library. He was still teaching. They lived in a suburb outside Philadelphia. House with a yard, normal life. I found an old photo of them from a school event. One of those local newspaper things. She was smiling. Real smile, not the photo smile. He had his arm around her. I stared at that photo for an hour. That could have been me. Those could have been my kids. That could have been my Tuesday nights. Cooking dinner in a kitchen with someone I loved. That could have been my life. But I chose Pittsburgh. I chose $185 a week instead of $112. I chose career advancement over presence. I chose later over now. And the thing is, the thing that makes me want to scream, I didn't choose it once. I chose it every single day. Every morning I didn't take the train back. Every weekend I worked instead of visiting. Every phone call I cut short because I was tired. Small choices, hundreds of them, thousands, they add up. Waiting for your okay to continue with Section 3. Make word count 2003 PM, strategize expansion methods to achieve exact word target. The user wants me to adjust. Section 2 to be exactly 2,000 words. Let me count the current word. Count first. Looking at the section, I need to count it carefully. The current section appears to be under 2,000 words. I need to expand wit to reach exactly 2,000 words while maintaining the quality, flow, and emotional impact. I should add more specific details and moments, expand emotional beats without being repetitive, add more sensory details, deepen the regret and realization moments, keep the same structure and story. Beats. Let me rewrite it to hit 2,000 words exactly. Show more done. Section 2, 2,000 words. Wednesday morning, I took the long way again. Thursday morning, same thing. By Friday, Catherine left me a note at my apartment. Found it slipped under my door when I got home from work. Her handwriting, blue pen on lined paper torn from a notebook. Did I do something wrong? You haven't met me all week. Call me tonight. C. I stared at that note for 10 minutes, stood in my doorway with my briefcase still in my hand, reading those 2 sentences over and over. I called, told her I'd been leaving early for work, special project, busy week. My voice sounded normal, convincing. She said okay, said she understood, asked if I was all right. I said yeah, just tired. We made plans for Saturday. I hung up feeling relieved, like I'd dodged something. Saturday, I told her about Pittsburgh. We were at her apartment, smaller than mine. She shared it with a roommate who worked weekends at a department store. We sat at her kitchen table. Yellow Formica top with metal edges. She'd made iced tea. 2 glasses, ice cubes melting, condensation on the outside. There's something I need to tell you, I said. She set down her glass. Okay. My boss offered me a position, regional manager. It's in Pittsburgh. She didn't move, just sat there, looking at me. It's a big opportunity, I continued. I'd be supervising 12 people, youngest regional manager in the company's history. She nodded, didn't say anything. It's almost double what I'm making now, $185 a week. That's good, she said. Her voice was flat, careful. Pittsburgh's not that far, 3 hours by train. I could come back on weekends. Could you? Yeah, of course. She looked at me, really looked at me. Her eyes were brown. I'd noticed that the first night we met. Would you? I told her yes. Promised her yes. Meant it when I said it. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. When do you start? July 1st, if I take it. If? I haven't decided for sure. Another lie. I'd already told Hendricks yes on Friday afternoon. Had already scheduled the interview. Monday morning, 9 a.m., Pittsburgh. I'd be on the 6:15 train. I don't know why I lied to her. Maybe I wanted her to think she still had influence over the decision. Maybe I wanted to feel like I was being considerate. Maybe I just didn't want the fight I knew was coming. We spent that Saturday together. Walked through the city, had dinner at a Chinese place on Race Street, egg rolls and fried rice, went back to her apartment. She was quiet. I kept talking, filling the silence, trying to convince both of us that this would work. That night before I left, she was standing by her door. I had my jacket on, keys in my hand. I love you, she said. First time either of us had said it. I felt my chest tighten. I love you too. I did. I really did. Didn't matter. Monday, I took the train to Pittsburgh. The interview lasted 40 minutes. 3 men in suits, asking questions about management philosophy, growth strategies, handling difficult employees. I answered everything perfectly. They offered me the job before I left the building. I accepted. Called Catherine that night from a payphone at the Pittsburgh train station. Told her I got it. She said congratulations. Her voice was small. We talked for maybe 5 minutes before she said she had to go. Her roommate needed the phone. I moved July 8th, 1967, a Saturday. Hot as hell. Humidity that made your shirt stick to your back by 8 a.m. Catherine helped me pack. We didn't talk much. She folded my clothes into boxes. I packed my books. Her roommate made sandwiches we didn't eat. They sat on the counter, bread getting stale. When everything was loaded in the U-Haul, I'd rented it for $29. Catherine walked me down to the truck. We stood on the sidewalk. People walked past us living their regular Saturday. A kid on a bicycle, a woman with grocery bags. Normal life happening around us. Call me when you get there, she said. I will. And we'll figure out visits. Maybe I can come in 2 weeks. Yeah, that'd be great. We kissed. She went back inside. I got in the truck and drove to Pittsburgh. You know what I thought during that 3-hour drive? I thought I was making the smart choice, the mature choice. Catherine would understand eventually. We'd make it work because we loved each other and love was enough. Distance was just logistics. We'd figure it out. I was so goddamn stupid. I called her when I got to Pittsburgh. Talked for 20 minutes. She told me about her day. Asked about the drive. Asked about the apartment. She sounded cheerful. Too cheerful. The way people sound when they're trying really hard. I called her Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, every night that first week. Week 2, she came to visit. Took the train Friday after work. Arrived at 8:30 p.m. Stayed until Sunday evening. My apartment was worse than the one in Philadelphia. Smaller, louder. The building smelled like cabbage and old cooking oil. We pretended not to notice. We walked around Pittsburgh like tourists. Went to a diner on Saturday morning. Had sex that felt different, urgent, and sad at the same time. Like we were trying to prove something. Sunday evening, I drove her to the train station. 2 weeks? She said. Yeah. Or I'll come to Philadelphia. I didn't go to Philadelphia for 5 weeks. Work was busy. That's what I told her. Training sessions, meetings, learning the systems, meeting with clients. All true. Also completely irrelevant. I could have gone. Could have taken the Friday evening train, come back Sunday night. Chose not to. The phone calls got shorter. 10 minutes instead of 20. Then 5 minutes. Topics got smaller. Weather, work gossip, what we ate for dinner. Then every other day instead of every day. October 1967, she came to Pittsburgh again. Second visit. 3 months since I'd moved. We went to dinner at an Italian place. Nothing like Giovanni's. The wine was too sweet. The pasta, overcooked. We ordered anyway. She told me about her job, a new dentist they'd hired, how her brother was thinking about college. I told her about work politics, a promotion someone else got, the new car I was thinking about buying. We sounded like strangers, making conversation at a party. This isn't working, she said. We were walking back to my apartment. Dark outside, late October cold. She had her arms crossed against the wind. Her breath made clouds in the air. We just need more time, I said, car to adjust. It's been 3 months. That's not that long. She stopped walking. We were under a street light. I could see her face clearly. When's the last time you came to Philadelphia? I didn't answer. You've been there once since July. Once. For a Saturday afternoon because your mother had a birthday party. Work's been... Don't. Her voice was sharp. Don't say work's been busy. You're choosing work. That's fine. I'm not mad. But don't pretend you're not choosing. I got defensive. Told her she didn't understand career opportunities. That I was building something important. That this job could lead to vice president, senior management, real money. That I was thinking about our future. For what? She asked. What do you mean for what? What are you building it for? Who are you building it for? I didn't have an answer. She took the Sunday morning train back, early, 6 a.m. I drove her to the station in the dark. We didn't talk. I kissed her goodbye at the platform. She didn't cry. Neither did I. I told myself she was being unreasonable, that she wasn't thinking long term, that I was doing this for us, for our future. We talked twice after that, once in November when I called to see how she was. Once in December, same thing. Both conversations lasted less than 3 minutes, polite, distant, like acquaintances checking in. January 1968, I got a letter. Actual letter, envelope and stamp, my address in her handwriting. Inside was one page. She was seeing someone else, a teacher at a high school near where she worked. They'd met at a bookstore in November. She wanted me to know before I heard it from someone else. She hoped I was doing well. She hoped Pittsburgh was everything I wanted it to be. She didn't sign it, love, just her name, Catherine. I read that letter sitting at my kitchen table in Pittsburgh. My apartment was still barely furnished. Card table, folding chair, mattress on the floor, lamp from Woolworth's. I'd been too busy with work to buy real furniture. Kept saying I'd do it next month. I didn't cry, didn't call her, didn't throw anything or punch a wall or do anything you'd see in a movie. I sat there for maybe 20 minutes. Then I folded the letter, put it back in the envelope, threw it in the trash. Told myself it was for the best. That long distance never works anyway. That we'd both move on. That I'd meet someone else eventually. I threw myself into work harder. 70-hour weeks became 80-hour weeks. Came in Saturdays, took files home Sundays, made myself valuable, indispensable. By June 1968, I was top performer in my region. By 1970, assistant vice president. By 1975, vice president. By 1982, senior vice president, corner office, reserved parking spot. I made a lot of money. I bought a house in 1973. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, nice neighborhood with trees. Lived there alone for 9 years before I got married. Her name was Susan. We met at a banking conference in 1981, Denver. She was a loan officer from Cleveland. Smart, competent, ambitious like me. We had similar career goals, similar work schedules. It made sense. We got married in 1982. Nice wedding, 120 people, reception at a hotel. Got divorced in 1989. No kids. No real fights either. Just slow drift. She said I was married to my job. She was right. I dated after that. Few women here and there over the years, nothing serious. Nothing that lasted more than a year. Nobody I loved the way I love Catherine. I retired in 2003 at 59. Senior executive vice president. Pension that paid $8,200 a month. Savings of $1.4 million. Beautiful condo in downtown Pittsburgh, 20th floor. View of the river. Ate dinner alone most nights. Read the newspaper. Watched television shows I didn't care about. Slept. Woke up. Repeated. You're wondering what happened to Catherine? I looked her up in 1995. Internet was new, but you could find things if you tried. Found her married name, address, phone number. She'd married the teacher. Robert Chin. They had 3 kids, all grown by then. She was working part-time at a library. He was still teaching, high school history. They lived in a suburb outside Philadelphia, house with a yard, garden in the back. I found an old photo online from a school event, local newspaper archive, some fundraiser or awards ceremony. She was standing next to him, his arm around her shoulders. She was smiling. Real smile, the kind that reaches your eyes. I stared at that photo for an hour. That could have been me. Those could have been my kids. That could have been my Tuesday nights, cooking dinner with someone I loved. That could have been my life. But I chose Pittsburgh. I chose $185 a week over $112. I chose career advancement over presence. I chose later over now. And here's the thing. The thing that makes me want to scream at my 23-year-old self. I didn't choose it once. I chose it every single day. Every morning I didn't take the train back. Every weekend I worked instead of visiting. Every phone call I cut short because I was tired. Every time I said next month or when things slow down or soon. Small choices, hundreds of them, thousands of them over the years. They add up. They added up to a life I built alone. They added up to money in the bank and nobody to spend it with. They added up to a big empty condo and Tuesday nights eating microwave dinners in front of the TV. They added up to me at 81, dying thinking about a woman I haven't spoken to in 57 years. You think your situation is different. You think you have good reasons, valid reasons. Your job really does need you right now. This project really is important. Your boss really is counting on you. The money really does matter. The promotion really will make things easier later. Later. That word should terrify you. I told myself later for 58 years. Later I'll spend more time with people I love. Later I'll take that trip. Later I'll have those conversations. Later I'll prioritize what actually matters. You know what later becomes? Never. Here's what I figured out too late. We don't lose the important things in our lives during big dramatic moments. We lose them on Tuesdays, on Wednesday mornings when we take a different route to avoid a conversation, on Thursday nights when we stay at the office an extra hour instead of going home, on ordinary Saturdays when we choose comfortable over meaningful. We lose everything that matters in 5-minute decisions we don't even recognize as decisions. Right now, today, you're making the same choices I made. Someone in your life wants your time, your presence, your actual attention, not your distracted half presence while you scroll your phone or think about work. Maybe it's your kids asking you to play. Maybe it's your spouse suggesting a walk. Maybe it's your parents calling to talk about nothing important. Maybe it's a friend texting to get coffee, and you're saying later. You're saying, I'm busy. You're saying soon. You're saying when things calm down. Things never calm down. I watch young people now, people your age, and I see myself everywhere. Guy at the coffee shop on his laptop during breakfast while his girlfriend stares out the window. Woman on her phone at the park while her kid tries to show her something. Man who sighs when his father calls because he's in the middle of something important. You think you have time. You think you'll balance it out eventually. You think the people who love you will understand, will wait, will still be there when you're finally ready. Some will, some won't. Catherine didn't wait. Catherine, why should she have? I chose work over her every single day for months. She found someone who chose her first. I don't blame her. I blame me. But here's what's worse than losing Catherine. I didn't learn. You'd think that would have woken me up, right? Lost the woman I loved. Should have changed everything. It didn't. I did the same thing with my marriage to Susan. Same pattern. Worked late, brought files home, missed dinners, missed conversations, missed everything that wasn't about advancing my career. Same thing with my parents. My father died in 1994, 73 years old, heart attack. The last time I saw him was Christmas, 1993. Flew in for 2 days, spent most of it on work calls. He kept trying to talk to me, show me things in his garage, tell me stories I'd heard before. I kept saying, while checking my pager. He died in March. I got the call at my office, dropped everything, flew home immediately, Stood at his funeral thinking about all the conversations we didn't have, all the times he called and I said I'd call back and didn't, all the visits I postponed because work was busy. You'd think that would have changed me. It didn't. My mother died in 2001. Cancer, 6 months from diagnosis to death. I visited 4 times in 6 months. She lived 3 hours away. I could have gone every weekend. I went 4 times. You know why? Work. Always work. Projects, meetings, deadlines that seem critical. Can't even remember what they were now. Can't remember a single meeting that mattered more than sitting with my mother while she was dying. But I remember the last thing she said to me. I was leaving after my 3rd visit, late November. She was in bed, frail, tired. I kissed her forehead, said I'd visit again soon. She grabbed my hand. Her grip was weak. You're always leaving, she said. Not angry, not accusatory, just sad, stating a fact. I'll come back next week, I promised. You won't, she said. But it's okay. I understand. I came back 3 weeks later. She was unconscious by then. Died 2 days after that without waking up. I understand. That's what she said. She understood that work mattered more than she did, that meetings mattered more, that everything else mattered more. She was right. I'm 81 years old. In a few months I'll be dead. And you know what I think about? Not my career, not my promotions, not my salary or my title or my office or any of it. I think about Catherine's kitchen table. Yellow Formica, 2 glasses of iced tea, a conversation I could have had differently. I think about Tuesday mornings in 1967. 2 minutes of walking with someone I loved, 5 minutes I saved by taking a different route. I think about my father's garage, my mother's last words, Susan sitting alone at restaurants while I worked late. All the small moments I traded for things that don't matter at all now. You have those moments in front of you right now, today. Someone wants your time, your attention, your presence. You're about to say later. Don't. I'm not going to tell you work doesn't matter. I'm not going to tell you money doesn't matter. I'm not going to tell you ambition is bad or success is empty. I'm telling you that Tuesday matters more than Thursday. That the 2-minute walk matters more than the meeting. That the person next to you matters more than the person who might promote you. I'm telling you that later becomes never faster than you can possibly imagine. You think you're different. You think you'll balance it better than I did. You think you have time. You don't. I'm going to tell you exactly what you're doing wrong right now, today. This morning, you woke up next to someone, maybe a spouse, maybe a partner. They're still sleeping, or maybe they're in the kitchen making coffee. You looked at your phone before you looked at them. Checked email, checked news, checked social media. 30 minutes of scrolling before you had a real conversation with an actual human being in your home. That's the choice, right there. Or you have kids. They wanted to tell you about a dream they had, show you a drawing, ask you something meaningless and beautiful the way kids do. You said not right now or in a minute or daddy's busy or mommy's working. You said it because you were checking your phone, answering an email, looking at something that will not matter at all in 5 years. That's the choice. Or you have parents who are still alive. They called yesterday. You saw it, thought, I'll call back later, and didn't. Or you did call back, but you were distracted, half listening, waiting for the conversation to end so you could get back to whatever you were doing. They told you the same story they always tell. You didn't really listen. You've heard it before. That's the choice. You're 30, 35, 40, 45, doesn't matter. You think you have decades. You think you'll fix this later. You think you'll be more present when work slows down. When you get the promotion, when you have more money, when the kids are older, when you're less stressed. I had those same thoughts at 30, at 40, at 50, at 60. I'm 81. Work never slowed down. I got every promotion. I made the money. None of it mattered. You know what I'd give to have one more Tuesday night cooking dinner with Catherine? Everything, my entire career. Every dollar I made, the condo, the savings, the pension, all of it. I'd trade it for one more morning walking 2 minutes to work with her. But I can't. She's 80 years old now, probably. Maybe dead. I don't know. Haven't spoken to her since 1968, 57 years ago. You know what's haunting me right now, lying in bed at 3 a.m. with 6 months to live? Not the deals I didn't close, not the meetings I missed, not the promotion I didn't get in 1979. I'm thinking about April 18th, 1967. Tuesday morning, the decision to turn left instead of right. To avoid Catherine for 5 extra minutes because I wasn't ready for a difficult conversation. 5 minutes, 57 years ago. That's what I think about. You're making that same choice today, this morning, right now. Your phone just buzzed. You checked it. That's the choice. Someone near you wanted to talk. You said you were busy. That's the choice. You stayed an extra hour at work yesterday. Told yourself it was necessary. That's the choice. Small decisions, they feel like nothing. They feel reversible. They feel like you can always make a different choice tomorrow. I'm here to tell you that you can't. Because tomorrow, you'll have the same reasons, the same excuses, the same very logical, very valid, very convincing arguments for why work matters, why this email is important, why you need to stay late, why you'll be more present next week. Next week becomes next month, becomes next year, becomes never. I know this because I lived it. After Catherine, I told myself I'd learn my lesson. Next relationship, I'd do it differently. I'd prioritize the person, not the job. I didn't. I did the exact same thing with Susan. Worked late, missed dinners, chose career advancement over connection. She left after 7 years. I was shocked. How could she leave when I was working so hard to build a future for us? She didn't want a future. She wanted a present. She wanted Tuesday nights. She wanted me there. Actually there. Not physically present, but mentally at the office. After my mother died, I told myself I'd learned. I'd spend more time with the people I had left. I had friends, cousins, a brother. I didn't. Same pattern. Too busy, maybe later when work calms down. My brother died in 2015. Heart attack at 68. We talked maybe twice a year for the previous decade. Both times, brief calls on birthdays or holidays, surface conversations. How's work? How's your health? Talk to you soon. We grew up sharing a bedroom. Shared everything. Best friends until we weren't. Until I decided work mattered more. Until I decided Tuesday night phone calls could wait. Until I decided I'd reconnect with him later. Later never came. You're doing this right now with someone, maybe multiple people. You're prioritizing things that don't matter over things that do. You're telling yourself you'll balance it out later. You're convinced this busy season is temporary. It's not temporary. This is your life. Let me tell you what the last 15 years of my life looked like. The years after I retired with all that money I'd worked so hard for. I lived alone, ate alone, traveled alone, went to Italy in 2005, saw beautiful things, had nobody to share them with, came home, showed pictures to nobody. I'd go to the grocery store and see couples in their 70s shopping together, arguing about what to make for dinner. I'd watch them and feel this crushing weight in my chest. That could have been me and Catherine. Should have been me and Catherine. Instead, I had a big empty condo and money in the bank and absolutely nobody who cared whether I came home at night. You think success looks like corner offices and six-figure salaries and important titles. I had all of that. Success looks like someone being happy you walked in the door. Success looks like Tuesday nights that matter to someone besides you. Success looks like being missed when you're gone. I had none of that. I'm dying now. Pancreatic cancer, spreading fast. Doctor says maybe 6 months, maybe less. Maybe I'll make it to summer. Maybe not. You know who visits me? Nobody. Susan's been remarried for years. My brother's dead. My parents are dead. Catherine, I can't even imagine reaching out now. Hi, it's been 57 years. I'm dying. Remember me? I hired a home health aide, woman named Patricia. Comes 3 times a week. She's kind. Gets paid to be kind. That's what my life added up to. Paid kindness. I did everything society told me to do. Worked hard. Climbed the ladder. Made money. Bought things. Achieved success. I did it all. And I'm dying alone in a condo that nobody will visit after I'm gone. My stuff will get sold or donated. My savings will go to charities. Nobody will miss me except maybe Patricia. And only because she'll lose a client. That's the truth about choosing work over people. About choosing later over now. About choosing achievement over connection. You end up with achievements and nothing else. I need you to hear this. Your job will replace you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks? You think you're indispensable? You're not. I was Senior Executive Vice President. Retired in 2003. Company didn't skip a beat. Hired my replacement before I'd cleaned out my desk. All those late nights, all those missed dinners, all those times I chose meetings over people. The company didn't care. They got their value out of me and moved on. But Catherine couldn't be replaced. Tuesday nights with her couldn't be replaced. My parents couldn't be replaced. My brother couldn't be replaced. I chose the replaceable thing over the irreplaceable things. You're doing the same thing. Right now, today, you're choosing something replaceable over something irreplaceable. You're choosing something that won't matter in 10 years over something that will matter forever. Stop. I mean, literally stop. Put down your phone. Close your laptop. Leave work on time today. Actually on time. Not just 15 more minutes. That becomes an hour. Go home. Or go to wherever the person you love is. Sit with them, not while checking your phone. Not while thinking about work. Actually sit with them. Ask them about their day and actually listen to the answer. Listen like it's important because it is. It's more important than anything in your inbox. Make dinner together. Not fancy dinner, just dinner. Spaghetti, scrambled eggs. Doesn't matter. It's not about the food. It's about the Tuesday night. It's about being there. If you have kids, play with them. On the floor, with their toys, their games, whatever they want. Give them 30 minutes of your complete attention. Not distracted attention. Not phone in your pocket attention. Actually be there. If you have parents who are alive, call them today. Not tomorrow. Today. Ask them about their lives. Ask them to tell you that story you've heard before. Listen like you've never heard it. You might not get another chance. If you have someone you've been meaning to reach out to, a friend, a sibling, someone who matters, do it now. Text them, call them, show up at their door. Do it today, not this weekend, Not next week when things calm down. Today. Because I'm 81 and I'm dying, and I'm telling you from the other side of all those choices I made, work doesn't matter. Achievements don't matter. Money doesn't matter. Titles don't matter. Tuesday nights matter. 2-minute walks matter. Phone calls matter. Presence matters. Being there when someone wants you there matters. That's it. That's everything. You think you have time to figure this out later? You think you'll balance it better next year? You think the people who love you will understand, will wait, will forgive all the times you weren't there? Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. But you'll know. You'll know you chose wrong. You'll know you prioritized things that didn't matter. And when you're 81 and dying, you'll lie awake at 3 a.m. thinking about Tuesday mornings in April when you turned left instead of right. Don't be me. Don't wait until you're dying to realize you spent your life chasing the wrong things. Don't wait until everyone's gone to realize they mattered more than anything else. Do it now. Today. This morning. Put down your phone. Close this screen. Go find someone you love. Be there. Actually be there. That's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that's ever mattered.